I'm writing here because I am tired of venting to my family, making the same decision, and then having to deal with their judgments. If you decide to read this whole thing, I truly appreciate you and look forward to hearing your take on it all. I 22 AM involved in a relationship of 4 years with 22. For some background, I've known him since freshman year of high school, but we didn't start dating until our senior year. Fast forward to about 2 years into the relationship, we were living in our own apartment together. When I found out he had been cheating for most of those 2 years, I threw a fit. I mean, crying, yelling, cursing, nothing physical. Instead of reacting to my outbursts, he called his mom, who in turn called my mom. I refused to leave the house that night because I still had my belongings there, and TBH, I wasn't finished talking my shit. I ended up moving back in with my mother for about 2 weeks. During that separation, he would call and text me off of different numbers because I kept blocking him, and he would show up to my mom's house. Eventually, I talked to him, and we got back together. I moved back in with him. My mom helped me find a therapist, and I began seeing her a few months after this incident. We have 2 Ring cameras in the house, one pointed at the front door, one at the back. During the earlier parts of the relationship, I didn't feel the need to have access to the cameras, but after the cheating, I did gain access to it. From year 2 to now, he has continued to cheat on me. He has gotten sneakier and more deceitful. I didn't always react the same way I did the first time, and I didn't always pack my things and leave. But I honestly can't even recall all the times he has cheated on me. I'll try to provide a few examples. I used to work an overnight job, and he would bring girls to our apartment while I was at work. I didn't find this out until he admitted it after being confronted about another cheating situation. Another time, I found blonde hairs in our bed. My hair is dark brown. When I first asked him about it, he said he had his friend come over to play the Xbox and his girlfriend was blonde, so her hair could have been on his clothes. I obviously didn't believe that, but I had no proof. He later admitted that it was hair from a girl he was sleeping with. At this time, I was about 20F and I saw this as an opportunity to explore my own sexuality. So I told him I would be interested in having threesomes with a female and him. We tried this and we both enjoyed it. I felt a sense of relief and also excitement. I thought we were both getting something positive out of it. I expressed that I would only be comfortable with this arrangement if we both agreed on the female partner, and if he did not sleep with her outside of us doing it together. That didn't last very long. He continued to sleep with other females and still have threesomes with me. I felt so betrayed and stupid. I didn't know what else to do, so I suggested an open relationship where I could continue to explore my sexuality, and I would leave him alone to be free to sleep with whoever he pleases. OFC, he agreed. But I couldn't hold up my end of the deal, since it was out in the open. He was completely careless, leaving condoms, girls' lip glosses, and hair ties around. It made me furious. I was not happy with the arrangement, and I told him I didn't want to do that anymore. I told him about my therapist, and I invited him to do a couple session with me. He did a few sessions with me, and he ended up becoming a client of my therapist as well. I did not mind at all. I thought it would be a great idea for us to meet with the therapist separately and jointly. Since being with the therapist, he's continued to cheat. I've left and come back, left and come back. I used to not open up to my family because I was afraid of what they would think, but I have come to learn that I should speak about the things that are affecting me. I would open up to my mom and my grandparents, since during some of our separations I would also move in with them periodically. I don't think my family ever blatantly judged me. I think I wasn't proud of the decisions I was making, and so I felt like my family would judge me. Fast forwarding into year 4 of the relationship. It's been a year that we have continued to see the therapist separately and jointly. I believe that we were making progress. He has definitely screwed up a few times during that year, but I didn't feel like I packing my things and leaving. I thought we were getting somewhere. Him and our therapist have formed a great relationship, and he seems to trust her very much, which I know does not come easy to him. Well, within the last month, my life has completely changed. First, I found out he was sleeping with our downstairs neighbor. I have no idea how long this has been going on for. I didn't really have proof, but I had enough suspicious activity to bring it up to him, then he confessed to it. I completely lost it. I physically attacked him, and I spoke to the neighbor directly. I was furious, humiliated, and disgusted. I told myself this was the last straw, There was absolutely no coming back from this. I packed a bag that would last me a few nights at my grandparents' house until I could get the rest of my things. I blocked him from every form of communication. I went to my grandparents' house where I explained to them and my mom the most recent situation. Everyone could not believe what they were hearing, like he had reached a new low, even for him. My grandfather made a comment around the lines of, "I won't be surprised if you go back with him. It's just the matters of the heart." I immediately disagreed and I told him this was not something we could come back from. Well, just like in the past, he would call and text from blocked numbers, use his friends' phones and accounts to reach out to me, and show up at my grandparents' house. I did not give in. One day while I was at the beach, I posted on my social media, and he must have had a throwaway account where he was able to view it. He said he just wanted to talk about splitting up the bills, and then he would leave me alone. Part of me believed it, part of me didn't. I figured, we'll split up the bills, and then I can always block him again if the conversation was headed a way I was uncomfortable with. We spoke about the bills, and then he asked me how I was feeling. I tried to keep things short, but I didn't want to hold those feelings, and so I expressed myself. He also expressed how he had been feeling, and like always, he said how sorry he was and how stupid he was. I didn't buy it. I didn't end up blocking him again, but the conversation was over after that. A few days later, I went to the urgent care to get tested for STDs, since I knew he had been sleeping around again. When I discovered that I was pregnant, I literally almost threw up when I heard the news. I instinctively called him to tell him what I had just learned, and he ended up meeting me at my grandparents' house so that we could discuss it in person. We went for a drive, where he asked me what I was planning to do. I am in support of women having their own autonomy to make decisions, but I didn't think that abortion would be an option for me. I was torn. I didn't want to get rid of the baby, but I didn't want to raise the baby in separate homes from the start, and I definitely did not trust him to be committed to our family. After about a few days, I was back sleeping at his place and starting to view this baby as being a lesson for him and I. I knew that we had both talked about being parents, but I never planned for it to happen under these circumstances. We've each had a few sessions with a therapist together and separately. In the conversations we have together, he has said he's excited about the baby and that he wants to break generational curses. I am completely in love with my baby without even knowing who they are yet. I am still very early along, 9W, but I've told my mom, my grandparents, and my twin brother. He has told his mom, brother and sister, aunt, and cousin. Us and my mom have already started buying things for the baby in anticipation of their arrival. Here's my most recent dilemma. 2 days ago, I was getting ready to announce my pregnancy to my older brothers. My BF knew this, and he was even planning to come along. When he told me that he wanted to be open and honest about his fears and doubts of bringing this baby into our relationship. He says that he doesn't want to hurt me or the baby down the line, that he hasn't been able to get his urges and behaviors under control in the past, and that he doesn't believe he's had enough time to work on himself. I was completely blindsided. Why have we been openly telling people about the baby? Why have we been buying things for the baby? He said that he was caught in the fantasy of having a baby, not really in reality. He says he's afraid that he won't be able to be in a monogamous relationship, but he does not want to co-parent. He says that he would still be supportive if I decided to keep the baby, meaning he will remain present in the baby's life, but he's not sure if he can remain loyal to me. The truth hurts. I've been asking for him to be honest all along, and now that he is being in his honesty, I am in pain. I don't know what to do from here. I am not opposed to abortions in general, but I have fallen in love with this baby, whether I am with the father or not. At the same time, I do not want to bring a baby into an unhealthy environment. I'm also not financially able to get an apartment of my own, but now that I have confirmed my pregnancy with the state, they have been more willing to give me state benefits. I am in my junior year of college, and I was planning to continue school while pregnant, and even after the baby is born. I feel like I was comfortable with my decision, and I was even starting to envision life with a child, but now I am spiraling. I don't know what to do. I haven't talked to anyone about this, except my therapist. I am completely open to all suggestions.